Holy smokes, this ain't no jokes. I knew things were going good for Tesla, but how many miracles can Tesla keep on pulling off? Not a financial advisor on shares or Berkshire Hathaway and Tesla. Always do your own due diligence before investing. Many things is leading us to believe that Warren Buffett is buying Tesla. It is not yet fully confirmed, but this is what is confirmed. Buffett is buying a secret stock and building up a position that will be revealed in a few weeks. And we also know that a secret buyer is buying Tesla. This mysterious buyer is buying so much that once it reaches 5% ownership in that company, it is required special paperwork. If you enjoy financial related news and trending topics, please do drop a like, and if you're new here, also please subscribe and hit the bell. The reason Buffett gains from keeping us as long as possible from knowing which new stocks he is buying is that once people find out Buffett is buying something, many people go ahead and buy it and bump up price, ending up making Buffett pay more for it. There are a few other things that we already know. The first out of 4 is that on December 21st, Tesla joins the S&P 500. Tesla will not just be joining the S&P 500, it will be joining the S&P 500, but will be on the top 10 biggest companies. So after December 21st, millions of people, knowing or not knowing, will own Tesla. Many investors don't pick individual stocks, but all those 401ks, different types of funds, and all portfolios that track the S&P. And the second thing that we know is that when Buffett invests on something, many people follow and do the same thing because of Buffett's track record. There are investors that mirror Warren Buffett's portfolio exactly, and there are many other investors that just look at a stock differently once they see the Oracle of Omaha buying it. What are your thoughts on Buffett buying Tesla and all these? Drop your comments and ideas in the comment section down below. And the third thing that we know is that the mere fact that Buffett is buying something, it already brings its value up. Buffett is not like me or most of us. The amount of money he has and the amount of money he can deploy moves markets. And finally, the fourth and final thing that we already know is that nowadays we have different multiple types of funds. You ask me, why does it matter? It matters because most people don't buy individual stock. Most investors invest in funds or something like that that tracks one sector or multiple sectors. So now fund managers have to choose how much Tesla will their fund hold. If a fund manager chooses a very small portion of Tesla to own and Tesla keeps on doing what it does and starts skyrocketing again, now that fund manager will underperform its peers and will underperform other funds. I found this on the markets.businessinsider.com. Markets Insider. Warren Buffett is buying a secret stock that could be revealed within weeks. Warren Buffett has a secret stock in his portfolio. The billionaire investors, Berkshire Hathaway conglomerate, omitted confidential information in its quarterly portfolio update on Monday, instead filing it separated with financial regulators. He is undoubtedly building a large position now, said David Cost, a finance professor at the University of Maryland and a close follower of Buffett and his company. I suspect that Berkshire is building a large position in a public company and they would like to continue to do that before disclosing it, said James Shanahan, an Edward Jones analyst who covers Berkshire. Buffett has kept investment confidential in the past, including Phillips 66 in 2015 and IBM in 2011. Warren Buffett is buying a new stock but doesn't want to spill the beans just yet. It appears the famed investor secured permission from regulators to not disclose his ongoing purchase in Berkshire Hathaway's 13F filing for the third quarter, which was published on Monday. Confidential information has been omitted from the public Form 13F report and filed separately with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the filings read. Wow, this adds up so good. They gave him permission to keep it confidential. Why? He said, hey, let's keep it confidential so to avoid volatility. What would happen if people find out he's buying it? Yes, he would pay more for it. But the reason they can agree to keep it confidential is that let's not make this thing go skyrocketing for no reason, just because it is a reason. Buffett buying something is a reason. Berkshire chief probably wants more time to grow his nascent stake. Revealing it might spur other investors to buy the same stock, driving up the price that Buffett has to pay. He's undoubtedly building a large position now and may reveal it in his next 13F. David Cost, a finance professor at the University of Maryland who has closely followed Buffett for more than 30 years, told Business Insider. Buffett has received confidentiality treatment several times in the past. Costs continued. I believe most recently, around 2015, he was building a position in Phillips 66. Indeed, the confidentiality clause appears in Berkshire's 13F for the second quarter of 2015. Published in August of that year, Buffett and his team disclosed a $2.5 billion stake in Phillips 66 in an amended 13F filing a few weeks later. Berkshire's 13F forms for the first and second quarters of 2011 also excluded a holding pursuant to a request for confidential treatment. A flurry of filings in November of that year revealed Buffett's company had been buying IBM, growing its stake in the computing giant from 4.5 million shares in March to 24.8 million shares in June, then 57.3 million shares worth more than $10 billion at the end of September. Buffett and his team appear to be keeping an investment confidential once again. I suspect that Berkshire is building a large position in a public company, and they would like to continue to do that before disclosing it, James Shanahan, an Edward Jones analyst who covers Berkshire, told Business Insider. Berkshire's third quarter earnings pegged the value of its equity portfolio on September 30 at $245 billion, excluding Kraft Heinz, Shanahan pointed out. However, its 13F filing showed only $220 billion in holdings. The company roughly $6 billion investment in 5 Japanese trading houses over the 12 months to August only partly accounts for that difference in value, he added. The covert investment might be the missing link. Buffett's hidden holding is the latest sign that he is itching to deploy Berkshire's vast cash reserves after taking cover from the pandemic earlier this year. Berkshire, which exited the Big Four airline stocks at a loss and slashed its bank holdings in the second quarter, announced more than $19 billion worth of investments during the third quarter and revealed about $6 billion in new pharmaceutical holdings in its portfolio update on Monday. Buffett is very smart, and on top of all that, he's not alone. He has a great team. I remember when he bought Snowflake, and on the first day, he doubled 100% profit on his investment on Snowflake. I also found this on the Electrek.co. Electrek, Tesla surged to near record high on mysterious new investor buying big. Tesla is surging to a near record high on investors buying big into the stock following the announcement that it will be added to the S&P 500. Even Warren Buffett is rumored to be buying into Tesla. Over the last 2 days, since it was confirmed that Tesla will be added to the S&P 500, the stock has been surging. It went up 8% yesterday, and it is extending its gains today by now trading 10% up in trade day. The result is that Tesla added now around $80 billion in valuation to its stock over 2 days. On top of the announcement of the S&P 500 inclusion, Tesla's stock was also helped by a price target increase from Morgan Stanley. However, it's hard to justify such a massive increase in valuation from just this new information. An interesting theory is that some big investors are now heavily investing in Tesla, and a particularly interesting theory is that famed investor Warren Buffett might be investing big. Frank Peeling found that about 50 million Tesla shares have disappeared into the hands of currently unknown investors based on the 13F filings, which disclose large ownerships. Oh my lord, this is what I'm saying. Buffett is buying a mysterious stock, and Tesla is being bought by a mysterious investor. How many people out there can afford to buy these large amounts? Frank Peeling. Thread on Berkshire Hathaway and Tesla. Yesterday, I pointed out in this quoted thread that based on data I gathered from 13F filings, a large number of Tesla shares seem to have gone missing during quarter 3. The tune of 100 million shares. Tesla S&P 500 inclusion is finally here, and it's shaping up to be a truly unprecedented inclusion. I outlined a few of the reasons why Tesla's inclusion is so special in this blog post a few months ago. I made a small mistake, so the number is actually a little over 50 million shares, but nonetheless, this is a large number of shares that can be explained away by retail buying, delta hedging, and smaller institutional investors increasing their stakes. This is particularly interesting in the context of Berkshire Hathaway Warren Buffett's investment firm filing for a confidential investment in a new company that it didn't want to disclosure in order to not overlay effect of the market. The new investment could be worth around $11 billion. An investment of that size would most likely result in a more than 5% ownership in most companies. Unless they manage to obtain an exemption from the SEC, the company has to be quite large for an investment of that size not reaching the 5% ownership threshold for disclosure. My lord, this is another clue. The amount of money he's spending would buy most companies, or at least more than 5% of most companies, so we know that he's buying something big. Frank Peeling, assuming that 5 to 6 billion of the current 16.5 billion disparity is due to the investment in the Japanese trading giants, what can the other $11 billion be attributed to? Could Berkshire Hathaway currently confidential new investment be Tesla? Another important piece of information is the size of this position and implications it has on 13G filings. Companies have to disclose an acquisition of a 5% plus stake in a company within 10 days to the SEC. So unless Berkshire Hathaway was also allowed to keep this confidential, there are only 25 companies listed on US exchanges big enough to reach the threshold, and Berkshire Hathaway owns 9 of them and is one of them. Tesla would be one of the few companies big enough that the investment would make sense. Peeling argues that the missing Tesla shares and this mysterious investment from Berkshire Hathaway make for an interesting theory that Buffett might have acquired a stake in Tesla. Buffett and Elon Musk have butted heads before. The former invested in BWD, a Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer, and Musk previously laughed at the vehicles that they were producing. Buffett also owns a lot of car dealerships in the US, which have lobbied against Tesla's direct sell model. Furthermore, Buffett has lobbied against solar initiatives in Nevada, where he owns the largest electric utility. Oh my lord, these two giants are competing against each other and I didn't even know. Electric stake, I am certain a bunch of massive investors are buying into Tesla now, resulting in this massive surge. Buffett would actually be one of the last investors I would have thought would be buying into Tesla. He generally invests in fundamentals, and you don't invest into Tesla based on fundamentals. However, he's toward the end of his career and slowly letting go of the reins at Berkshire Hathaway and maybe other leaders at the firm like Tesla. Anyway, it's speculation at this point. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section below. Yeah, I don't know folks, I know coincidences happen, right? But mysterious buyer is buying Tesla that looks like Buffett. Buffett is buying mysterious company that looks like Tesla. And there are too many companies like Tesla. There aren't too many investors like Buffett. We will find out soon enough. Thank you so much for watching this video and staying here with me until the end. Have a blessed and wonderful day. I'm not a financial advisor on shares of Berkshire Hathaway and Tesla. Always do your own due diligence.